When we're young, we have an amazing, positive outlook about how great life is going to be, but somewhere along the line, we forget to dream and end up settling. Join Up Dots features amazing people who refuse to give up and chose to go after their dreams. This is your blueprint for greatness. So here's your host, live from the back of his garden in the UK, David Ralph.
Yes, hello there everybody, hello there and welcome to Join Up Dots. This is going to be a bit of a different episode than normal. I felt like I haven't spoken to you one-on-one for quite a while. I think it must be a month or so, 2 months ago, it might be even longer than that, who knows. So today's episode is just going to be you and me, getting intimate, getting down, maybe getting sexy. Who knows what's going to happen. But I wanted to talk today about something that happened on Friday night. Now, this is Monday, just a couple of days ago. Some of you in the United Kingdom might know about this, and across the world you probably don't. But something remarkable happened. Yes, I can tell you that Rick Astley, the Meister of the 80s. Some people say the 80s, but people like myself who love his music and love the man himself will say that he's timeless, he's ageless. He did something that so many people didn't expect. And he has got back to number one. Yes, he has got back to number one on the UK album charts with his new album 50. Now, some of you might be going, Who's Rick Astley? I've got no idea who this man is. So let me give you a little burst of one of his songs you'll probably recognise.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you, never gonna give you up.
Yes, so that was the Rick Meister. And how many of you have been at weddings and parties and somebody puts that on and all your dads get up and dance? Yep. All my dance moves fit that song perfectly. Now, on Friday night, over the last week or so, he has been locked in a chart battle with a UK artist called Tom O'Dell, who's a young geezer, and he has he's done very well in the last couple of years. Now, Rick hasn't really done anything really over the last 30 years, or has he? And this is the reason for this show, because although we don't think things are happening, behind the scenes, more often than not, people who have found their thing and love doing it will continue to love doing it and keep doing it, even if it isn't giving them the sort of global success, the recognition as Never Gonna Give You Up did 30 years ago. And that was the case with Rick Astley. And over the last 30 years, he's been releasing albums, he's been doing tours, he's been singing and producing and doing sort of the stuff he wants to do. He loves making music, and so he was fortunate enough to earn enough money right in the very beginning to be able to sort of have choices in his life. And I suppose that comes down to the nuts and bolts of what stops us all going for the dream. We all need to pay bills. There's no getting away from that. When you're a kid, it's freedom time, and we live in a life that our mums and dads, hopefully, if you've got lovely mums and dads, will buy you stuff and tuck you up in bed at night and look after you, and you just act like a child. Hey, you are a child, and I suppose you've got every right to do that. But once you get into adult life, things start to change, and of course you've got to look after yourself, and you potentially will move out and have to start paying your own bills, and that's when it gets a bit difficult, because once you start earning money and have to pay bills, how do you actually backtrack? How do you go for the thing that you want to go for, that will start earning you money and will light up your life as well? Well, it's not easy. It is not easy, and we're not all going to come out with Never Gonna Give You Up and earn £1 million overnight. But what we can do is quietly be persistent. We can quietly go after what we want to do, and little by little by little, it will get there. Now, it may not be the global success that some of you want, but fortunately in the online world, it doesn't need to be. And as we talk time and time again, you can literally make six figures by just finding 200 people and selling them a service, a product, or whatever for $500 or £500. Now, I spent many, many years, and not often did I come to a six-figure business until I did Join Up Dots. Now, why has that occurred in Join Up Dots land and it didn't occur elsewhere? Well, this is what I'm going to share with you. When I started Join Up Dots, I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but I just knew I wanted to do something that lit me up inside and hopefully inspired the world. So I bought my setup, I pressed record and started talking. And I was all right. I was okay, but I wasn't particularly good. But it didn't stop me, and I kept on producing content. And in the early days, not many people listened, and little by little, it got bigger and bigger. Now, once you get people coming to you, that is when you can turn things into money. And you don't want to do it in the sleazy way. You want to provide utmost value. You want to provide a way that people will gain something from you that they will then share with their friends, and then it's a win-win. It comes back to you big time. And so that's what I kept on doing. I kept on doing the thing that I love more than anything, and that is turning on the microphone and recording. Now, as I'm recording this, it is about 7:30 on a Saturday morning. So I've had one cup of coffee, and hopefully I haven't got that get out of bed kind of croaky voice that we all have when we get up first thing in the morning. Hopefully it's a kind of show that you might want to be sitting in a car or a train or your cubicle listening to and getting some advice, some words of nuggets from. But why did I get up? I got up because I love doing this. I love turning on the microphone and recording. I love finding a subject that I want to talk about. And last night on a Friday night, as we're recording this, as I say, Rick Astley got to #1, and he got there in the strangest way possible, because what actually happened was, at the very beginning, you have global success. Hopefully you do, and you go off like a rocket, and people go, oh, I love this music, it's brilliant, because it's kind of at that time, it's at the right moment. And little by little, musical tastes change, and you dip down, and more often than not, you can become a bit of a joke, where people, will still like the music, but they will turn it down at traffic lights when they are in their car, so people can't see that they're singing away to it. And I think that's what occurred with Rick. He kept on doing what he was doing and changing his style little by little, but it's not until the musical tastes kind of match with the experience and knowledge and perseverance of that person that suddenly you come to the fore. Now, when you come to the fore, it's like rocket power again, and so many people come out of the woodwork. I love this guy, I love his music, I always have, I've been buying his records forever and a day. Well, that's not true, because otherwise he'd be at #1 all the time. But it doesn't matter. He just wanted to produce his records, and then it hit. And when that musical output matches what people are looking for, you've got a chance. Now, in your own life, of course, we don't know when that luck's going to occur. I don't know when that luck is going to really explode, Join Up Dots. I've had times when I thought, oh my God, it's really going like a rocket, and then it plateaus again. But that's fine, because what I'm doing all the time is I'm building content. I'm building a base so that when it really hits that time and explodes, and some people say to me it already has, but in my head, I want more. I want to become a global dominating podcaster. Now, when it does hit, I have got a base that people will come to, and not just find 1 or 2 items. They will find 600, 700, 800, whatever. They have got something that is going to provide them value. And when they find that value, they want to work with you. Now, as I was talking about this morning, I started to think, well, what we're really talking about is persistence, aren't we? We're talking about looking around a problem and really just keep on going for it every single day, even though you know that it may not pay off. But in your heart of hearts, it's what you want to do. It's why writers write. It's why film producers make films. It's like musicians make music. It's not the case that every single one is going to be an astonishing success, but it's that creative content inside you that really lights you up and makes you want to do it. Now, I'm just going to leave you. I might leave you with a little bit of Rick later. probably will, but I'm going to leave you with a little story, a little parable that I read this morning, and you might have heard this before. Now, this is one of my favourite stories now, and although I say I've just found it, I kind of vaguely think that I first read it a couple of years ago, but I remember in my life we'd just come through a challenging period, and I think this story hit home. But anyhow, it's the story of the donkey and the well. Are you sitting comfortably? Then we will begin. Once upon a time, there was a donkey. It was a stupid, stubborn old donkey. And even the farmer who owned it didn't like him. It was smelly. It had fleas flying around it. It just made a lot of horrible noise. And the farmer owned a large property. And one day he heard in the distance the loud, distinctive of the donkey. That was my best donkey impression. Pretty good, I think. Oh, that was a backwards one. If you ever do a donkey first thing in the morning, don't suck in backwards. It does your throat in. I'm going to try it one more time. If that makes me cough, I'm going to have a mouthful of coffee. Mouthful of coffee, excuse me. Right, you know it's a donkey. No more donkey noises. Now, after hearing this noise, the farmer wondered what the stupid donkey had done. So he looked all over his property until at last he found the animal at the bottom of an old abandoned well. Exasperated, the farmer rang his neighbours and asked them each to bring a shovel. He'd had enough of the stupid donkey, so he decided to get rid of it. Bury it in the well alive. Bit of a nasty story, but anyway, it comes out good, that's what I'm telling you. Now, all of these friends come over and together they started to shovel dirt into the well. At first, the donkey protested loudly, doing that donkey noise that you now are experts in, braying with all of his might. But after about 10 minutes, he stopped. The farmers kept shoveling. After a while, someone decided to have a look into the well to see what had happened to the donkey, and what he saw astonished him. No, he wasn't down there with a load of donkey ladies having donkey parties. It was even better than that. Instead of being buried, the donkey would dodge the incoming dirt and standing on the ever-increasing mound. Now the mission changed. They can see that the donkey had something special. It had a way of living. It wanted to embrace life. And the farmers went from trying to bury the donkey to trying to save him, shoveling more and more dirt into the abandoned well until he jumped out of the top victorious. And upon his release, the farmers all dropped their shovels and applauded the old stubborn beast with a newfound admiration. Now, the parable is there are times in life when it seems as though we're that donkey. We're trapped and feeling as though life is trying to bury us. But don't go under. Continue to find a way to overcome your challenges one at a time until you emerge victorious. Keep on recording those podcasts until the show gets to the top. Keep on releasing that music until hopefully you get back to number one and then the whole world says, we're fans of you. Just do it. But don't do stuff that you don't like. Do stuff that you love. Because that, my friends, is where true success comes. That is when the process becomes the enjoyment and not necessarily the rewards. Thank you so much for listening for this solo episode of Join Up Dots. I love doing this every single day. I love the fact that you're coming to me, listening to this show. I love the fact that Australia have now joined on and we're seeing more and more listens in Australia. Good day, everybody. I love the fact that Canada, and I can't do a Canadian accent, so I'm not even going to try a Canadian donkey on that one. Is it the same as American? I suppose it's vaguely similar. But thank you, Canada. We love you. And, of course, you Americans and the UK. And wherever you listen to Join Up Dots, thank you so much, because it does mean that the show has got a growing audience base, which will make it a success. And that, my friends, means that I am never gonna give you up. Thank you very much. See you later. Bye-bye.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. I've full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just wanna tell you.
David doesn't want you to become a faded version of the brilliant self you were once to become. So he's put together an amazing guide for you called the 8 Pieces of Advice that every successful entrepreneur practices, including the 2 that changed his life. Head over to joinupdots.com to download this amazing guide for free, and we'll see you tomorrow on Join Up Dots.